Hi, everyone, and a warm welcome back to Mind Sprout Books, the channel where we explore holistic self-development through the wisdom of books. This week, the book I want to talk about is called The Molecule of More. This is such an important and useful read. It's all about dopamine, a molecule made up of 4 elements: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. This single compound dictates most of the choices we make in our lives, whether to do this or that, to continue or to stop. This book will help you understand how dopamine is formed and how it functions in your brain. With this awareness, you can truly understand your own behavior and finally figure out if you're a slave to life's script or the master of your own destiny. First off, let's tackle a common misconception about dopamine. Many people think it's the neurotransmitter that brings us pleasure. Even the scientists who first studied it called it the happiness molecule. But in reality, the feeling dopamine gives you isn't pleasure. This was famously demonstrated in an experiment with monkeys. Scientists set up 2 doors. Whenever a light flashed above one of the doors, opening it would reveal food inside. Every time the monkey saw the food behind the lit-up door, it became incredibly excited and happy. At first, researchers thought the monkey's joy came from getting the food. But as they continued the experiment, they delayed the reward, leaving the light on for longer. Eventually, they stopped needing the light altogether. The food would just appear. And they noticed something fascinating. The monkey would just go to the food, but its brain no longer released dopamine. This proved that the monkey wasn't happy because it got to eat. It was happy in the moment it anticipated the light, when the thought of a future reward entered its mind. There's an old saying that waiting is happiness. And from a scientific perspective, waiting is what releases dopamine. It's a phantom pleasure, because the thing you're waiting for might never arrive. So let's explore how dopamine comes and goes to better understand how anticipation, the very thing that releases it, is controlling you. Dopamine production is linked to a discovery by a scientist named Paricu, who found that our brain divides the world into 2 distinct zones: parapersonal space, near space, and extrapersonal space, far space. Near space is everything within your arm's reach, what you can control. Far space is everything you can't immediately touch, whether it's a few feet away or much farther. The brain processes objects in these 2 spaces differently. For objects in your near space, chemicals we can call here and now molecules, like serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins, take over. These molecules allow us to feel satisfaction and joy from our present experience. Meanwhile, when dealing with objects in the far space, dopamine kicks in. It makes us want things and strive to get them. For example, if you want ice cream but don't have any at home, dopamine is released, motivating you to make a plan to go out and buy some. However, dopamine is only responsible for creating the desire. Once you have the ice cream, it steps back, and the here and now molecules take the stage. If the experience is good, you feel happy and fulfilled. If it's disappointing, you feel miserable, perhaps even regretting your impulsive decision. Think about all the things you've bought on sale that you didn't need, or how many people feel that falling in love is wonderful, but marriage is dull. That's because dopamine leaves the scene as soon as you've achieved what you were chasing. The saying, "Marriage is the tomb of love," is really just an excuse for not understanding this process. It happens when you never give yourself a chance to escape dopamine's relentless push for something new, something better, instead of appreciating the love that's right here in the present. True love is about knowing your partner's strengths and weaknesses and deciding if you can accept them at their lowest and grow together. Many people don't realize that even after dopamine is released and you achieve a goal, it will still push you to chase the next new thing. To dopamine, having is boring, only the chase is exciting. As the book perfectly summarizes, the secret to attraction always lies in what you don't yet have. Because you don't have it, you anticipate it, and anticipation creates surprise and excitement. This feeling is often mistaken for happiness. Take a simple, common experience. One day, you find $20 in an old jacket pocket. You feel incredibly happy, even though, if you think about it, that money was already yours. So why the joy? Because it was a surprise, just like the monkey, who was only happy when anticipating the surprise behind the flashing light. A good movie is good because it keeps you guessing what's next. You scroll endlessly through videos because algorithms quickly learn your interests and feed you a constant stream of content that will give you one pleasant surprise after another. That's why it's so hard to stop. You crave cake not because you enjoy eating it, but because your brain remembers the delightful surprise of the first time you tasted its sweet, rich flavor, and it wants to experience that surprise again. So you keep craving it, unable to resist, even if your scale tells a different story. The unexpected always triggers the release of dopamine, giving you a rush of excitement and euphoria. In short, dopamine isn't the happiness molecule, it's the anticipation molecule. It only creates desire, and in doing so, prevents you from finding true joy. Under dopamine's influence, you are always pursuing, never enjoying. Scientists have discovered that dopamine is part of the brain's reward circuit, but these rewards aren't random. They are meticulously designed. Consider why so many people are addicted to video games. It's because game developers masterfully manipulate the dopamine reward circuit to keep players hooked. For instance, every level might have treasure chests. When you open them, there's a chance for a reward. But the probability of finding a valuable item is intentionally set to around 25%. The other 75% of the time, you get nothing. Why? Because if you got a great reward 100% of the time, it would become boring and predictable. The motivation to continue would vanish. It's the 25% chance that keeps players excited and playing for hours. You think you're playing a game of chance, but you're actually following a script written by someone else. They've calculated everything. When you'll get addicted, when dopamine will be released, and when you'll crave the next bigger challenge. In many ways, life is the same. No matter who you are or where you come from, life's script seems to have a similar reward probability for everyone. No one gets 100% of what they want. You might get about 25% of what you desire, while the other 75% remains out of reach. In this script, dopamine plays a crucial role, with its mantra of want more and more and more, leading you on an endless chase of desire. Beyond the unexpected, uncertainty is another powerful trigger for dopamine. Psychologists conducted an experiment with pigeons. They set up a device where a pigeon could peck a button to get food. One peck, one reward. Then they wanted to see how to get the pigeon to peck continuously. They found the answer was simple. Make the reward uncertain. Sometimes the pigeon would get food, and sometimes it wouldn't. This uncertainty made the pigeon peck the button frantically. You can see this exact mechanism in casinos. Slot machines are built on the principle of uncertainty, rewarding players just often enough to keep them playing. If the machine was programmed to never pay out, or to pay out every single time, no one would play. It would just be a job. It's the what if that makes gambling so addictive. The truth is, no matter how skilled you think you are, you can't make a living from it because you can't control the dopamine in your brain. This principle of uncertainty is also used by players and psychological manipulators. They are experts at creating uncertainty for their partners. Hot one moment, cold the next, lifting you up, then tearing you down, intensely passionate, then distant and unavailable. They disappear for days, only to return with overwhelming affection. You slowly get addicted, but the truth is, it's all about the dopamine in your brain. When you feel uncertain, dopamine is released, making you crave stability and want more to hold on to it. If you don't recognize how anticipation and uncertainty are controlling you, you'll spend your whole life chasing an illusion of happiness, a slave to dopamine. So the question is, how do we control dopamine? Our brain has two main dopamine pathways. The first, originating from an area called the VTA, the brain's dopamine factory, is the desire pathway. When released, dopamine travels to the nucleus accumbens, creating cravings and motivation. Thanks to this pathway, our primitive ancestors sought food, found mates, and fled from predators, basic survival needs. If this pathway is blocked, we lose our creativity, our drive, and our ambition. The second pathway, located in the frontal cortex, is the control pathway. It's responsible for calm, rational thought and self-restraint. Its main purpose is to manage the impulsive desires driven by the first pathway, channeling that raw energy into something beneficial. When these two pathways work together, they help us stay motivated to achieve our goals while also feeling content. But what happens when they're out of sync? Dopamine and the here and now molecules become imbalanced. If there's too much focus on the future-oriented desire pathway, a person can become a workaholic, relentlessly pursuing goals without ever being able to enjoy the present moment. It's crucial to note that dopamine production isn't governed by conscience. This means people might go to any lengths, even acting against their own values, to satisfy their dopamine-driven desires. This leads to what's known as a dopamine-driven personality, someone who is obsessed with future value and willing to sacrifice any joy they could be having in the present. You've probably met people like this. Their key trait? They are always chasing new goals, but are blind to what they already have. No matter how successful they are, it's never enough. They must strive for more, achieve more. But if you ask them if they're happy, they don't have an answer. Conversely, if the here and now molecules become dominant, the desire pathway is suppressed. We become lazy, seeking only instant gratification without thinking about the future. A classic symptom is addiction, from hard addictions like drugs and alcohol to softer ones like gaming, oversleeping, shopping, and endless phone scrolling. Logically, no one wants to be addicted, but the problem is their desire pathway has been hijacked. The addiction is in control. For example, an alcoholic's hands only stop shaking when they're holding a drink. That's their only source of happiness. The moment they put it down, they're helpless. This brings to mind an age-old wisdom. Too much of anything is not good. Only balance can bring you the best life experience. If you want true happiness and achievement, you must seek harmony. Don't let either dopamine or the here and now molecules dominate your life. Don't be too fixated on the future, but don't be too content with the present either. The best balance is found by overcoming dopamine's constant temptations. This means letting go of the obsession with loss and uncertainty, the need for stability at all costs, and the habit of comparing yourself to others or trying to meet everyone's expectations. Stop focusing on what you don't have, what you need to achieve, and the idea that you must have more. Bringing your mind back to a point of equilibrium is the first step to living in harmony with dopamine and escaping your fate as a slave to life's script. Method 1. Master something. This means becoming an expert in a field. As we know, dopamine's mechanism is to make you want more. But instead of channeling that drive toward material possessions, status, or fame, let it help you immerse yourself in your work and master a skill. As I've mentioned in many previous book summaries, to become truly excellent and achieve mastery, you must first love what you do. Meaningful work is something that others find difficult, but you tackle without hesitation. It's an activity where you can easily enter a state of flow, and it's something that allows you to contribute and help others. After you've given it your all, dopamine will recede, allowing the here and now molecules to take center stage in your happiness cycle. You will find immense joy in the present moment, and this feeling will last for a long time. This positive afterglow will motivate you to take on the next challenge because your brain will want to re-experience that profound happiness that comes from full effort. Your life will enter a healthy upward spiral. Therefore, the best kind of joy is found by immersing yourself in work you can do well. Method 2. Connect with nature and rest properly. Today's fast-paced life consumes more and more of our time and energy. Don't let your dopamine system fire constantly. Don't be someone who only knows how to work. Relax properly, take a vacation once in a while, and connect with nature to let yourself unwind. This feeling of relaxation can bring you back to a state of balance. Method 3. Focus on the present moment and stop multitasking. Researchers conducted an experiment to measure people's happiness levels and found that happiness drops whenever their minds wander, no matter what they are doing. A person who can focus on the present can achieve a state of flow. In this state, the here and now molecules and dopamine work in harmony without suppressing each other. Some time management books suggest multitasking, like listening to a podcast while doing dishes or cleaning. This might sound efficient, but the actual experience is often different. If the content you're listening to is engaging, you might unconsciously pause your chores when you get to an important part, turning a 5-minute task into a 10-minute one. External interruptions might also force you to rewind, extending your listening time. Every time your attention switches between two different tasks, it not only consumes mental energy, but also requires time to refocus. In reality, the busyness of multitasking is a major cause of an out-of-control dopamine system. When the here and now molecules can't provide satisfaction, you can only seek more from the greedy grasp of dopamine. Method 4. Engage in creative activities. Creative activities might sound daunting, but this doesn't refer to world-changing endeavors. Anyone can engage in simple, creative acts like woodworking, knitting, painting, decorating, or writing. The principle is that creative activities allow the here and now molecules to provide a sense of satisfaction to the dopamine-driven process. They don't offer money or fame, But you must remember, they can make you happy. Today's content invites us to reflect on our lives. If we completely surrender to the burning desires within us, no one can save us. But if you can learn to find a balance, using dopamine to pursue the right things, while also activating your here and now molecules to enjoy what you already have, you will have the best possible life experience. And remember, when your life is in balance, the earth can be in balance. Look at what humanity's greedy dopamine has done. There's a massive hole in the ozone layer. We relentlessly produce cars, cement, and steel. Excessive carbon emissions are destroying our planet. The nuclear arms race and other mad ideas could lead to our extinction. Artificial intelligence is getting smarter every day. Will it replace us? Behind all of this is the driving force of dopamine. Our pursuit of pleasure could also be our downfall. Many people today want to love without the commitment of marriage or children, and birth rates are steadily declining. And there's something else we might not expect. Virtual reality could also hasten our decline. If we become too dependent on dopamine for instant gratification, we will gradually learn to only experience without doing. The virtual world can give you a sense of excitement and power without requiring any real effort. In the end, the author advises that to unlock the full potential of our brains, we need a combination of sensory experiences and intellectual development. When the brain operates at its peak, it produces not only joy and satisfaction, wealth and knowledge, but also a rich life experience that helps you reach a higher wisdom. This can lead us to a balanced life. A key purpose of this book is to help everyone find that path to balance, to escape the slavery of greedy dopamine, and to live a meaningful life as the master of your own self. Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please share it with others who might need it. Give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to catch the latest videos every week. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.